I'm still waiting on that Digraymon new chapter or whatever it is, the one shot, whatever it may be. I want it now, and I do think the Raw is out, but no translation unless I'm missing something. And with this recording, this could happen before the real translation is out, and depends on what I post. But what I know is by the time I'm recording, there is no translation as we speak. But I shall wait. This is Sparda's World Podcast, episode 30. Yes, 30. Woohoo! I made it this far. Yeah. Oh man. Seriously, I can't believe I made it this far. I'm not even kidding. It's not easy. I'll be honest with you. It's not easy to do these podcasts. It is not easy to actually deliver it on time, no less. Especially when you have a lot of hobbies of yourself, a lot of work in life, a lot of family duties, whatever the case may be. Maybe if I have like the ultimate free time, like just work and do nothing at home, maybe I would have done this so much easier. But unfortunately for me, I have too many hobbies, up to the point that I just dropped this little microphone. I forgot what you call this thing. I'm so lost right now. Yeah, I guess you could call this a blooper within the live podcast. But nevertheless, yeah. I feel accomplished to actually reach the big 3-0, and I guess I should start really try to improve my kind of podcast. I still need an intro. I like to have an intro. I don't know why, but I want to have an intro. Damn it! And start planning ahead of a lot of more things. Whether you get to some understanding the summary. Because sometimes when a new chapter comes out, you gotta go back and try to remember all the names from the characters, especially like with a series where they had just way too many names, way too many casts, and we're not even talking about the ones that you usually see every time. Like One Piece, you always know the Straw Hat Crews by heart. But you just don't remember the characters. Well, you can with the character from whatever arc you're in. It depends, I guess, but not with that arc, the Dressrosa arc. There was just way too many. I only know the very main key character, but not like the gladiators guys. Sometimes I remember sometimes I forgot, but I do my research before I even make a mistake, or the fact that the chapter itself really called out their name, which would be helpful for me. So I need to try to search it up. Though sometimes I do know their accomplishment, so at least that helps too. But yeah, it's not easy to try to remember a lot of characters' names, especially where there's just way too many characters in one series. You can remember all of them, and sometimes you can really remember all of them, but you got to take a toll. As in, like, you gotta remember a lot of them in this series, but you might end up forgetting some characters from the other series. So you gotta do that. I guess you could kind of say it's the latter just a little. I still remember what they do or what the characters are. It's just when it comes to name, I'll probably forget. It's just the name I'll forget. The accomplishments and what they do, I remember that. For the most part. Well, actually, I do remember a lot of good parts. Just the main key part. Definitely the main cast of the bigger side characters, I'll definitely remember. I probably won't remember, they fight this guy, and that was it. So, not like that. But, there's a reason why we get minor characters and very, very side characters for a reason. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Like I said, it's time to start to improve that for the next episode. I won't get an intro for the next one. I would love that, but I won't get it because it takes time to try to plan one. So I'm definitely gonna try to work on one. It won't be posted for a while, but it will be there soon. I know I'm going to start to do the reviews, because I have been watching animes as of late, and I actually found the right timing schedule for me to do it. And it actually come out very easy, to the point that I can actually do every review for every week. But I guess it depends if if I really have a lot of time to write. Because the writing part does take a while, and it does take some time to actually gather all the thoughts and see the pros and cons, and something you have to talk about, something that you have to address to the people, something you need to let them know. But like, oh yeah, about that part, I gotta mention that before you leave out something. I mean, granted, every review doesn't include every single piece that is good or that is bad. But it's best to get the major one, like, you know, like, you gotta be aware this series is not really an action series. It's more of a drama piece, as there goes a lot of talking and a lot of dialoguing, but very less actions, as it seems like it was promised in the first episode, stuff like that. You gotta try to do your best to address some of those aspects. But, nevertheless, I am going to start reviewing them. And, you know, my first post will be letting you know how the system work of mine, the manga and anime review. It'll be posted on Tumblr only. Sometimes I will do the extras, my official thought, my overall thought on the series itself. It will be more of a spoilers edition of my review, while the reviews in the Tumblr will be no spoiler free for the majority of it. I won't be like, oh, the ending is so good because you see this guy did this and that. That'll be pointless. It would just take away everything. But yeah, I'll let you guys know how the system works very soon. Definitely, it's happening very soon. You know, I'm having more free time as of late, which is good. You gotta strategize these things more and more, and I'm starting to understand the way how it works and how to strategize my free time. Granted, it took me 30 episodes, but better late than never, right? You know, I got a promotion. I'm so happy for that too. And now I got more free time to start planning things and more. I guess you could say I stopped being lazy, a little lazy. So it's not easy. Yeah, you gotta maintain stuff. You gotta schedule your things. Don't not too much. Don't make it too much like a robotic style, but try to plan well. That's my advice. And yeah, so let's see. As like I said about this month is a month of return. Still waiting for Diagramon new chapter, whatever it is. If it's really a new chapter or just a new short story, side story, whatever. Either way, it's Diagramon's universe, and I want to read one, and then it feels so good to read one after like almost 2 years of hiatus. I think it's almost 2 years. Then we got Berserk, which I can't wait to. Then, you know, I'm going to watch Dragon Ball Super, and I am going to do the extra to see my first impression for the first three episodes, which it will be. I know the third episode has not been released at this time, but after that episode released, then I will address it in my review and, well, not review, but my first impression. Let's just think. You know, I'm not sure how it is. The first episode seemed like a reintroduction to the characters, I think, with some comedy and here and there. Second one should be something about Vegeta, more of a calming thing. You know, I'm not rushing for action. I'm not asking for action, but I just want to see it myself to see what I think about it anyway. Now, speaking of new things or speaking of returning series, we also got Gundam. They hype it up with this whole brand new Gundam series that was coming out. And there was a countdown. Then before they was released the announcement, they also showed the Gundam model itself. And, you know, it sounds interesting. The premise sounds interesting, and it's been a while having an actual Gundam series that's on the war and, you know, the usual thing. I'm not including Unicorn. I'm not including the Origins because they're OVAs. I want an anime series. I know they have that fighter thing, Gundam Fighter. I don't know the title. I'll probably check it out for a heck of it, but you know, I want a series. I wanted one of those heavy, those heavy war theme setting, whatever. And this one is called Mobusu Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, or in Japanese, Teketsu no Orphans. So, you know, the premise goes 300 years after the end of a great war between Earth and Mars, called Yakusasin, was a calamity war. The Earth losing the ruling authority during the war structured a new world with a ruling system. A new war on Mars is starting while the Earth is in temporary peace. Now, we also got the whole main character named Mikazuki Angus. And, judging from the picture and everything, the character model, once again, is like, stands out more differently when it comes to human beings and a Gundam model. Because, usually the Gundam model remains the same in some form or way. The whole blue chest armor, some gold piece, mostly primary color of white. And, the head structure, the usual green lens, eye lens, and stuff like that. But when it comes to human, that's where there's always a different story. I remember they trying to do that with Gundam Age. It really made me upset, actually. I have not seen that one, and I might end up seeing it just to get out of the way. But I remember being upset because it feels like it's catering to the casual audience or the more of the newer audience, and that really kind of irks me. And from what I heard, the series is actually pretty disappointing too, so that doesn't help at all. It didn't prove my point. It not prove my point. It proved my point. It didn't help, going against my point, I guess you could say. It just proved my point. So this one, it has an interesting premise. There's more to it. It's a lot of names calling that I can't really say it well. So you do read it out. There is a teaser trailer. You get to, I guess you could kind of read it. So it depends. This is a little small trailer talking about the series. Like I said, the premise seems interesting. Hopefully the animation is really good. But, we're coming from this studio. I don't think I should be worrying. Because I remember Gundam 00. It was actually spectacular. By the end of the last episode, it was actually pretty damn good. Like the animation, the art. I was like, damn, that's movie quality right there. But the movie happened, and less said the better. So the interesting part is the whole staff, mainly the director and the series composition, I have read some people thinking why. They had said why. Okada is the one that say why her, why that person. You know what I mean? I really don't have any major opinion about these guys. I know she done Toradora, and I know that she done those romance things, romance based, and I know she did some other mech, I believe, from what I researched on her. But maybe time has changed. I'm gonna give it a chance. Come on, we need a Gundam series. I'm not sure if the last one was good, bad, whatever. It wasn't Gundam as like killing people, war is war, whatever. This one is what we get. Granted, it's a bit different with the orphans and everything, but again, as long as it's like this whole the Gundam series that we all know from many decades, why we need some of this right now. I mean, granted, we have Unicorn Origins. They're great, but, we need a series. And hopefully this is it. So, it's going to come out on October 4th this year. And that is one series I'll be following. And it's a good timing because fall season of anime. Fall anime 2015, that's when I will start reviewing anime. Trying to figure out if I do it in a podcast. I may have to cut things down then, but we'll see. But I definitely will talk about it in a Tumblr. And yeah, this should be interesting to see how many anime series is going to come out in October, the fall season, with One Punch Man. Supposedly we get no set of season 2. That was quick. So we get the Gundam series, and then we get some returning series from the past. For some reason, I'm drawing blanks on the fall season. I know there's a lot of good ones. Oh, Haikyuu is another one. I can't wait for that. Season 2 is going to be great. And then I am drawing blank right now, but I remember saying like, oh yeah, season 2 is gonna be awesome. So not season 2, damn it, fall season. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that season. Am I going to watch any anime that's coming this year, like in the spring season, winter season, or even the current summer season? Yes, I am. I'm going to watch them this year, and I'm going to talk about them this year. So just look after the Tumblr page and just continue following me there, and you'll see what you get. No introduction to this chapter because I have no theme song thanks to no anime adaptation, but maybe I'll hold on for a little bit while. Hopefully the anime adaptation happens next year in the October season, the fall season. But anyway, let's get back to the chapter itself. This was a pretty good one, and this is actually getting very exciting because now we get to see the villains and we get to see more of a Stein with Tenya and Deku upon arrival, which could be exciting turn of event to see Deku progress as a hero. Not only he really did the protection, but now he's about to fight and give it all he got, and hopefully it will be some progress, and maybe this is the time to shine the series. Because again, when you look at the tournament and the previous events from the earlier arcs, they all more like learning slowly but surely about this whole hero stuff, like protecting one another, supporting one another, understanding your quirk, and that's how this whole story has been so far. Now, this one says because Deku is not technically ready, but he is more ready than before. At least, you get the understanding of the quirk and how to use one for all more properly than before, rather than like using each fingertip to make it into a one-time deal attack. Each finger represents one attack. Like one thing, like if you do one strike, it'd be like one finger cost. And this one now is going to be like more of a all might fighting style. But anyway, let's get to the beginning, from the beginning to the end of the chapter. We get back with the whole Gran Torino fighting Anumu, and these weird things. These really weird things, these Numu, with that brain and showing eye, how that whole thing works. But this time there's more of them instead of just one like before from the 2 arcs ago. So this one is making it a huge crisis in the city. And, Gran Torino is fighting one, and then all of a sudden they got interfere because one big fire blast just ended up killing one Numu. And it turns out it was Endeavor. Yep, that douchebag Endeavor, the Shoto's dad. He's there. One, I wonder what this is going to bring about, because now we have Gran Torino and Endeavor in one place. Perhaps we're going to see interaction between each other, especially the fact that all Endeavor hates All Might, since he is number 1 hero, and as Endeavor is number 2 behind her, and that's his rivalry. Especially the fact that he made Shoto just for the reason to surpass All Might. That's ridiculous, and I guess we're gonna see more of that kind of characteristic. Maybe there is some relationship between him and Gran Torino, especially the way how he's saying like, why are you here? Granted, he is the number 2 hero and everybody should know about him. Still, anything is possible, and maybe we learn a little bit more about their history, if they even have one, but I started to think they do. Anyway, we get the whole Deku, before the whole Gran Torino, Deku actually got out the train, and, he's getting a little worried that the situation seems to be very, very bad, especially with not only there's a bunch of more Nomu, but Gran Torino's out there fighting, and the fact that this place is near where Eden, or now I should just call him Tenya, or even Ingredium, but I'm going to call him Tenya for the time being until he officially changed his name. But yeah, not only that, that whole thing situation, the city, the workplace that he took in is right there where the heroes are under attack by these bunch of normals, and we got the hero killer Stein on the loose as well. So it just gets more massacre, and Deku is just worried about the situation is growing and growing. Especially now he remembers that Tenya is in that workplace, and he remembered the last scene of him, looking like not his usual characteristic, and he had a little bad hunch, but he never really got the idea that he really went there for act of revenge, at least not yet, until the part where he goes to the workplace as everyone's getting every heroes are getting under attack by Nomu, and once he realized he's not there, and he overheard a hero talking about how Tenya wasn't there, and he's like, why he's not there out of all times, like he's supposed to follow them. That's where Deku come to realize that yes, Tenya did in fact went on his own and went after the hero killer. So this already screamed bad news, because now it seems like his monologue about something tells me I'm gonna regret this, it's finally coming to full circle. Maybe it could come to full circle if he allow everything go as the way it is right now, without him interfering. So yeah, it's not really looking good, and judging by the end of the chapter, it could turn around, or it could go into the same fallen place that he really wished not to see from Tenya. But it does seem like now it's now or never for Deku, since now he knows that Tenya really went out his way for vengeance and getting himself killed from it. So we have Tamura just having a sightseeing, having every normal just destroying places to places, and it's all like, it's like, it felt like a good accomplishment, even though he's not going there because supposedly he's injured. But the thing is, he really doesn't like the guy, the hero killer. He doesn't like Stein. Not his game. But hey, he has to get experience of being a villain, or, get the experience of attacking in full force as a villain. So at least he's going to get some experience out of this by sightseeing, I guess. Maybe he would jump in. I'm not sure how he's gonna. Not sure if he really going to jump in. But right now, all the work is being done by Nomu, and of course, here Stein is doing a lot of killings and disabling heroes, just like how he did it to Tenya brothers. So now we get to the real part of the chapter, and that's where Tenya finally gets his way for vengeance, get his revenge for his brother. Unfortunately, Stein is just way too powerful, and Tenya is still a rookie at best when it comes to the hero support, because everybody has to train. The workplace is there for a reason, but of course everything happens so sudden, and Stein just merciless just harm his arm, both of them in fact, just rub his arm, man. The fact that to see him getting stabbed by Stein in his arm, like seriously stabbed by a sword, it's kind of shocking, to be honest with you, because I guess I wasn't fully aware this series could have a little bit like I know there are shonen series, there are other series that just go, there are ways to show how much damage these guys could take, how much they're gonna feel the suffering, even if they're like kids or rookies. So it just still suddenly shocked me to see how much Tenya is really getting damaged here, getting stabbed through the sword in his arm. Like, it felt like he's disabling his arm or something. But yeah, it's pretty brutal stuff. Yeah, it's simple, but it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I guess I wasn't just ready for that. But nevertheless, Stein, he easily beat him. Unfortunate for Tenya, he's no match for him, and he pretty much finally got to let go of his emotion and pretty much tell everything why he's doing this. And he pretty much hates Stein for everything he done to his brother, and pretty much made him so incredibly angry, so much emotion of revenge. Like you could see from his expression, from his from his dialogue, telling him like, you know, he can never be heroic again because his lower half of his body is paralyzed and all the spinal injury. And you know, he's the one that made him dream about being a hero. That's his inspiration, his role model. And because of Stein, he took all away from that. It's like he really hates him now. To the point he really wants to kill him. He set him straight up. He wants to kill him. And Stein is like, you know, if you're supposed to save him first, which he points to another hero, because again, this guy is about how heroes are really not much of a hero. So therefore he just killed him, and he just feels disappointed how much people aren't so much a hero, and the only one he really praised is All Might, since he is pretty much the definition of All Might, which it doesn't connect well with Tomorrow, since he hates All Might and he hates what he represents, as well as the city represented by him. So he's telling him, you shouldn't save him, stop thinking about this, you're seized by hatred, your personal feeling get the best of you, your own selfish desire. So because of that, you're just going further away from a title. It's kind of funny because it almost seems like he's helping him, but you know, the idea is that's how he sees Hero. You know, Hero is supposed to be, you know, those honored by codes, the whole supporting, helping each other needs. And don't go away for your, you know, vengeful act and stuff like that. So yeah, and pretty much after telling him that's why he pretty much tells Tenya that's why he's gonna die, and makes it worse. Tenya cannot move because Stein's quirk makes people put it in place and cannot move at all. Not sure what they call the title yet, but maybe I missed it, or maybe they say it yet. But nevertheless, can't move, and you know, it sucks for Tenya because he keeps getting so upset because not only that he's about to get killed by Stein, the person who pretty much destroyed his brother's career and ruined his imagery of being inspired of his brother, but the fact that he can't do anything to avenge his brother, and he can't even come close to, you know, get his fix, get his vengeance, and get his wish. So it's just, you know, he's so upset to do this, to witness this moment, and he's about to die. Then comes down with Deku, just straight up punch the crap out of him. And yeah, at least now Tenya sees Deku is not with him, and that's where the chapter ended. And you know, I gotta say one thing before I go pretty much closing this chapter review. The art in this chapter was really good. I mean, the art itself is always good and really good at many times, but this one is really just so good that I really hope a lot of people are already picking up this series, because I know it hasn't get to the point that it makes you say, oh my god, I gotta read this badly, or this is a must read. Okay, there's not that much of a must read for a lot of series at times. It's all opinionated, but you know, there's that moment that you have a breaking point that says, yep, I'm glad to keep reading this series. But you know, with this series has provided a lot of great art and a lot of nice detail of a facial expression, as well as the scenery. Like like since this is based on a hero storyline, the whole theme and setting, it makes it more relatable for American audience with the whole the action scene, especially with the whole with the sound effect. It's not the way we see from a lot of manga series. Rather, it's like close to the comics itself. In fact, it is like the comics itself, like smash, like it would say in the background, like wow, like some old school Batman, like pew pew, that kind of style. But yeah, but not only just that, it's just like a lot of moments, like when you see the whole punch straight up to his Stein's face. They got a nice close-up view, and then the next page you just see like a lot of detail, well, a lot of lightings coming down, and a lot of like I said, the facial expression, it really shows you how much it means whatever they say in the terms of line, like especially with Tenya, who he'd been cursing out so much that he hates him with everything, every fiber of being of him. So yeah, like I said, maybe there hasn't been a breaking point. A lot of people could say maybe the breaking point wasn't the tournament thing, but for me, I hasn't seen it yet. But maybe in here, this might be it. Who knows? But yeah, this is a pretty good chapter. I'm really excited for the next chapter. There's a lot of possibility, a lot of possible route to see what's next, especially if we either focus on the fight or we get to see more of Gran Torino and Endeavor relationship, if they have any. So definitely can't wait for the next week one. After the fight with Bass B, we finally get to go somewhere with this arc. Well, not much. It's a setup chapter for what's coming for these battles, or more likely what is coming up for these characters. So the one that some of them are already shown what to have a battle, mainly a Grimjaw and Askin, and as most likely that Grimjaw is not out for a count. I'll be kind of surprised, but at the same time be disappointed, because it'd be like, well, what was the point of having Grimjaw? Just for fan service? And the other parts that are being set up for a fight, one of them will make you think he's dead, but to me, I think he's just not dead. He's just gonna get back up, and then that'll be his fight. And the last part is where we might most likely going to focus for the next chapter or so. Hopefully it won't take that long, but whatever the case may be, it should be a bit entertaining. At least I'm hoping for. But this chapter wasn't so bad. It wasn't bad at all. It's just, it was a setup chapter. Not much to say. It's straightforward, and it's just, going to continue on with these multiple battles we're going to get. And, at the very least, the Quincy Rebels, the leftovers, those two girls, are dealt with easily. One-shotted off panel by Youch, no less. Yeah, pretty much they fought Youch. We didn't even get to see how the other girl, the zombie creepy person, I think it's a girl, right? That creepy person, is already dead, sort of looked like. The other one, Latoto, just got one-shotted, and that was it. I know it's trying to display the power of Youch, especially this new power-up of Youch. But, it's been a while seeing the fight with Youch and with anybody else. So it's like, it did happen. That's the thing. It actually did happen, that fight. So, I don't even recall him getting that much damage or that much of a huge difference between like a person that just get easily badly damaged to the point he has to go like a good 50% or more. And then later on, you just don't have to go 50%. You just have to go easily, 1%, just one-shotted anybody else. So what I'm saying is, it's a kind of weird hype up on Youch. I mean, we get the point that he is powerful. It's just that this one is making him more powerful. But I guess you could say, because we saw him fight, it's best to try to get the understanding of what exactly is a big difference in on-screen way. And not only that, it's just that, again, the first battle of Youch, he was already unstoppable. So why make it look like a hype thing in here? But whatever, the case, I guess the main point is that they got rid of the leftover Quincy, the one that tried to rebel. So, yeah, I guess it really didn't make that much of a difference or make that much of a importance in to begin with. Then Yao just went to sleep and gave the power to Jugram, pretty much shared the power to Jugram, and he's in charge of everything now. And it should be, I guess, because, even though he one-shotted Basby, you just had to power him up more just to make him look like a good, strong mini-boss, or more of an actual boss title But whatever, it does. At least it will make him do more stuff. And like I said, the first battle, it's not like he had a hard time. That one, it was just, he one-shotted Bass B. So, whatever. But pretty much after that, everything else is all set up. We got Gerard try to find the good guys, and then he couldn't find Ichigo and his friends got lost finding Grimjaw and Askin, so they just split up, which pretty much begs for them to get their own individual battles in the time coming. And then you see Askin and Grimjaw once again. Askin trying to run away, try to give him try to throw a random ball. And then Grimjaw was like, like this would work on me. And it turns out it was full of poison, so Grimjaw got KO or likely to die. And, Askin just taunting around him. Pretty much, I don't really think is the ending of Grimjaw. I mean, ending like that would be very anticlimactic and just be such a waste for bringing back an old character from the two arcs ago, and just to do it like that, it just be so weak. But again, it's most likely a pause situation because we're going to focus on one battle very soon, while this one needs to be on hold since they can't keep fighting. I mean, not fighting, more like doing the manhunting thing. They can't keep doing that forever and ever, so they might as well do another best thing, and that's have one of them KO for now and just have it taunt, and then when their time comes back, there you go, the real fight begins. And then we have Hisagi. He's running down with the other Shinigamis, and then Lily just shot something at him, then pretty much supposedly kills him. But of course, to me, I think he's not dead, and I think this is where the setup for his battle comes in. But that'll be on hold because he is dead, quote unquote. So yeah, again, two battles is on hold. Grimjaw because he's KO by poison or death by poison, and Hisagi being shot down by something and seems like he's supposed to be dead, but that's pretty much on hold. I think that's how you say his name, by the way. It's the guy with the 69 in his cheek, but or he has a different number. Anyway, yeah. And the real main the real setup that's really going to take place in the next chapter is the Kenpachi and Muddy, where they come across with this strange being. I actually forgot the name before, but actually you had to look up for it because there's a lot of Quincy people. There's a lot of character in this arc, so I can't forget. I actually forgot the newer character, not the old character like the Gutai 13 and the Ichigo guys, his friends. Just the newer Quincy, because the Stern Ritter, at least. I know Jugan, but he's just got more focus than anyone else. This one is Pernita, I think that's his name, or it name, because I don't even know it's a he, she. I don't even think it's a Quincy human being. I just think it's just a thing, like some crazy experiment. So they don't have no idea what the hell is that. Kenpachi, of course, as always, will just go there and just straight striking down and pretty much slashed the head off, and somehow Kenpachi got hurt in his arm, but he's okay. But apparently this Pernita can regenerate or something. He just it not only regenerate, but it grows bigger and something going on, and maybe we get something. Maybe we get an inner look of that person or that thing, whatever that is. And that's where the chapter ended. Pretty much we're going to get to see them fighting, which should be entertaining at least, because Kenpachi is always some reckless, crazy guy. And it's always interesting to me. And Marty, him being there, he's like wacko of a scientist. Could be interesting as well. So, other than that, this chapter, not much to say. It wasn't bad. More of a setup chapters here and there, a little peek on who's going to fight who, and that's it. That's about it. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long to take care of this little thing in the battle-wise, because, with Bleach, you never know how long it will go. albeit this chapter has no story progress, this was a nice chapter still. And that's because it's focused on Sabo and how he come to in term to go to Dressrosa in order to meet Luffy and inform him about the whole Sabo not being dead, and actually come in turn with Luffy after so long, and pretty much make it up for Ace after his timely death. And this was a nice chapter. Again, this has no story progress, not much to say, just a nice in-depth of a character, as well as understanding how Sabo finally come into term after so long. I mean, it should have been happening. It should have happened way back, wipe the whole the Marine 4 war arc. It should have happened a while back, but it didn't, because apparently he didn't have a memory. He had amnesia. That was the explanation. So when we go back to the chapter at the beginning, everybody's sleeping except for Zoro, Frankie, Robin, and Sabo. And they have a discussion about, him being the brother of Luffy, and, seeing how the Revolutionary Army are doing by Robin wondering how's everything, and it's going on well. And with the time they have the need, they ask how he came in term with this whole situation, and why he come back. And it's a long story, and they finally explain the whole time where he gets shot down by the Marine. And that incident, I actually still hated that moment. Not just that part, but the entire backstory of Sabo with that parents of his and the adopted brother, which really, really got me so pissed off. That was one of the thing about this series, is it really makes the most disgusting people known to mankind, to the point I really wish they got the worst of the worst. But you're not supposed to think that. Maybe you do in certain cases, but I don't know how he's going to address this. But still, Oda does really make people very disgusting. So we get to the flashback. Basically, this whole chapter is all flashback. Of course, that's the case, because you need to understand what makes Sabo come back now out of all time. So in here, pretty much we get to the point where he gets shot down. This boat gets shot down, and like everybody calls it, well, at least most of them called it, that Sabo did survive, and Dragon was the one that helped them, and pretty much you pretty much put him into the army. And the explanation to that was actually about the whole amnesia thing. But even though he had amnesia, they think they should just go find the parents and bring him back to them. But instead, Sabo suggested that he doesn't want to go back to them. He wants to stay with the army. So it's rather crazy, but it goes to show you how devastating the parents are. Even if he forgot the memories, he just know that he doesn't want to go back. It goes to show you that the whole treatment, the horrible childhood that he has to suffer, the fact that he went through all that hell with those parents, it goes to show you no memories erase, no amnesia can erase that scar that the parents have brought into him. So it's really one way to address that kind of that emotion sense, that feeling that it cannot be erased. And Oda is really known to display this kind of different characteristics, which I really admire a lot, because these kind of things, it goes to show you that a lot of things can be very crucial, and a lot of things can really change a man, and it really cannot because once they go through that change, they really won't go back. So pretty much he went to the whole he stayed with the Revolutionary Army, and it doesn't show you how he grow with them, how he gets the relationship with the crew members, like Cola and whatever. It doesn't show any of that. The main point is how what made him come back after all this time. Pretty much all these time he doesn't have a memory of anyone else in the past, so he doesn't know anything. He just pretty much deal with the army, get strong, learn the combat and all that stuff. And once the news, and he has said that Ace is the one that helped them to remember everything. Unfortunately, it wasn't the way that you would think. Like, hey, Sabo, I can't believe it's you. It's me, Ace. It's nothing like that. Rather, it's the news of Ace death. Ace death, the fact that the Revolutionary Army was talking about that. And Sabo just grabbed the newspaper and then he see the image of Ace. And, that was the main headline of his death. And you see Sabo starting to remember everything that Ace since the time where Ace wants to his dream, like, to become a pirate, and then everything is just starting to dramatize him more and more. Cola was getting worried, like, what the hell was going on? Are you okay? And then that's where he breaks down. He just went not insane, but he just broken down because now he remembered that Ace was his brother, and because he remembered, not only he remembered that the Ace was his brother, and remember everything in the past, but the fact that he's dead makes a combination of him just make him just pass out for the next 3 days or so. It's sad. It's really sad that that's the way to find out that your brother, so to say, has passed away, and then that's what you remember. So it's not like you remember the time. You remember because you saw him and he's still alive, and you want to make amends with him. It's too late for that now. So that's a rather sad way to get remembering, but that's why. But that does explain why he didn't join the war. Or maybe get the idea like, hey, I'm going to the war. Come on, revolutionary, please help me out. Or just go on his own whim because, they're brothers. They're strong bonded with this. So it makes sense why Sabo didn't go there. I mean, you would have think like, wow, Sabo is not such a good brother, isn't he? If he didn't go, right? But that's the case, of a memory loss. Waking up, even though he remembers everything, he's still not going to go back home. He's actually going to stay with the Revolutionary Army, which is nice of him. It would have been suck. But, of course, this is a flashback. We already know he stayed. But, the fact that we get to see, like, oh, you got the memory back, that means you're leaving us. I enjoy seeing Cola. Anyway, then we get to 2 years later with the whole he told the army that he wanted to go to the Dressrosa to get the devil fruit, and he knows the devil fruit is from Ace, so he wants to go there, and he pretty much got the accepted to do that mission. And this is where we get to see the flashback where we were missing from the way back. I forgot what chapter number, but the time where Luffy found out that Sabo is alive. We finally get to see the more in-depth look of that. And this is where Luffy, he didn't want to know, he didn't want to believe that it's really Sabo, but he still played his characters like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not Luffy, it's Lucy. And he said, stop calling me little brother. I only have, he stopped calling me dad, stuff like that. The only person I could call him that was Ace, and the other one was, the only person that called him that was Ace, and another one is the one that died, that was just Sabo. And once he find out it's really Sabo, he's just broken down with so many tears, hugged him. It was really nice to see the scene. It really, really nice. Just showed the bondage with these guys. I mean, Ace is deaf, but it goes to show you they really still, they're gonna remember him in their hearts, and they will keep it alive for him. They will stay alive for him, and they will continue living on. Seeing, how, like, it's good to see you alive as well. It would be heavily devastated if both of them died at the same time. But, it will, even though we lost Ace, it just mattered that we're still alive. So, it's it's really nice to see that in depth. And of course, it should have. Maybe you could argue it should have saw that a long time ago. We should have saw that a long time ago back in whatever that chapter the first time. But I think this works well to show us why Sabo, Luffy, and Ace meant so much with each other, and why Sabo really care about his brothers. And seeing, that's where Luffy is like agreed to have Sabo to take the mirror fruit, and that's the end of the flashbacks. And Sabo pretty much tells them farewell. And it was nice to see a reminiscence of the same quote that Ace actually said, which is, do take good care of him, won't you? And, Zoro reflected that exact same thing what Ace said back then. So, really nice of them. Really nice of them to talk to Sabo, like, such a good companionship. Even though, of course, they only met him just one day. It's just, I don't know, I like these kind of chemistry they've shown for a very short time. So basically, Sabo was being called upon to get back home. Well, not get back home, but get ready to sail off. And, it was nice to see how these army of his actually gave him so much time to leave. And he's like, we're good to go anytime? He's like, yeah, anytime. It's like, all right, let's hurry. It was nice of them to even give him the time he needed to have his relationship connected. So that was the end of the chapter. I do think this chapter was made, or maybe it just coincidentally made in time with that anime special that's coming up based on Sabo, which I'm going to check it out myself because I do like Sabo. He is he come across a good character on his own. You could say the fighting style could be like a replacement to Ace, but I think it'd be a little bit more to it. And I do think there's going to be more to his character due to the fact that he's the Revolutionary Army. He's still the last left. He's still the one of the last brothers of Luffy. And there's going to be more showcase of his action. Now he got the fruit power. The mirror fruit, the one Ace used to have, of course. It will be interesting to see how much he can go progress with that one. So, no story progress in this chapter. More of a reflecting on Sabo and his time of coming back now to see Luffy once again. All that is nice to see. It was a nice chapter, and unfortunately, maybe people will get upset more about this chapter because we find out that we're going on a break. There's no One Piece chapter next week. That's why. So that's gotta suck. But again, I thought this was a nice chapter. Whatever it may be the case of just the hype up for the anime special, I thought it was done in the right time, and I thought it was a neatly appropriate timing to see Sabo and telling us where he comes from. So, yeah, good, nice chapter. I enjoyed it. And that will do it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yes, I hit the brick 3-0, and hopefully from Tuesday's episode, it's going to be more improvement, more prepared. And yeah, I'm definitely my Tumblr page is gonna have more updates. It definitely including the new anime manga reviews that I'm going to start working on. And thankfully, I got more free time to not only to write but watch more animes, do other things, of course, in normal life. So I'm good. I'm feeling good right now. And yeah, continue to spread the word, to support this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And that's it. I'm going to try my best to see Dragon Ball Super, which I do think I'm going to see it by this weekend. And hope you guys enjoy your weekend as well. Take care, everyone.